you say you're going to do something and then you work towards it and you actually accomplish that thing, it builds so much confidence because you told yourself you're going to do something and you went and did it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. It is time for my Q2 plan with me. Last year, 2022, I started doing these quarterly plan with me's because if you know me, you know I love setting goals quarterly. I kind of look at my year in seasons or basically in quarters, and it has brought so much clarity for me. I really absolutely love looking at my year this way because it kind of makes it more manageable, makes me able to think long term, but also not think too far in the future and kind of stay focused on what needs to get done right now in the next 3 months. And since it's April, that means it is the start of Q2. So Q2 is April, May, and June. A beautiful quarter, spring into summer. Summer is my favorite season, so I'm really excited for all that's to come. So please join me in making yourself a little drink, get yourself a little snack, your journal, your planner, your workbook, and just have a little space, set the timer for 30 minutes, however long you think you need to make a plan for your next 3 months. So we're gonna start by doing some journaling. I'm using the journal that I created, of course, the Dreamer Journal. This is in matcha. And why I love this journal and why I created it specifically is because there are pages at the beginning to kind of write out your dreams, words you love, journal prompts. If you get stuck, plan out your journal schedule. But then also it normally is just blank lined pages, so you can kind of make it your own. I'm almost done with this one, as you can tell. I started it in October. On these prompts from this website, I'll link it below, the Tending Year, and they have some quarterly prompts that kind of go over your values, projects, emotions, and resources. So I'm gonna put these all on the screen as well. I'm not gonna answer every single one of these prompts, but choose the ones that work best for me, and you can choose the ones that work best for you. And again, I will link this amazing resource in the description as well. Just watched me fill out 2 pages in my journal full of reflections. It was actually really easy to do. It seems like a lot of writing. You guys watched me do it. Hopefully you followed along and did some for yourself, or you will after this video, because it was honestly really therapeutic. Sometimes I put off filming this video because I don't always love reflecting. I like remembering the good times, okay? So I love looking back on pictures of vacations and thinking back to the good moments. I think we all do. But sometimes it's hard to reflect on maybe what I did not so well, or where I can improve, or, you know, the moments when I was sad as well as having fun. I think it's sometimes harder to look back on those, but I think it's important to do as well. And I'm glad I did this because lately I've just been feeling a bunch of imposter syndrome and just feeling, I've kind of talked about this in some videos, you know, I'm so thankful for what I do, but it still has that imposter syndrome of like, am I cut out for this? Can I do this? Is this going to be a success? And I've been battling with those thoughts a lot recently. And you know, this past 3 months, like, yeah, I had some big achievements, I thought, but actually journaling about it, I'm like, I actually did a lot in the past 3 months. Career-wise, I brought on an intern, Caroline. I got my office space, which now feels like it's been in the past, but that was this year. Like, that was literally in January. It hasn't even been 4 months of having that yet. I also signed with a new talent management company last month, so I now have new management for my socials, and you know, and so through this journaling exercise, I realized, you know, Hannah, you have done a lot, and I think you'll find this too. So if you're feeling like, you know, it's already 3 months into 2023, you haven't put a lot of work in towards your resolutions, do this exercise and really reflect on your achievements, why you're proud of yourself. That was the prompt that showed me I actually did a lot more than I thought I did. I wrote about why I'm proud of myself, things that I felt like I was accomplishing in my career, in my personal life, internally, externally, and I think you'll find as well that you actually accomplished a lot more than maybe you thought. We're not going to go into detail of all of my answers, but I wanted to answer these prompts because I thought it was fun. Under resources, I answered the 2 prompts, what made me feel most tired and what made me feel the most energized. So I thought this was a fun one to kind of share. What I felt like made me feel the most tired is honestly my diet. I have been eating more unhealthy than I have in the past. I still try to eat, you know, my proteins, my carbs, my fats every day. Really the culprit here is sugar. I'm like addicted to sugar currently as I drink my sugary coffee. And usually I'm not super specific about a type of diet I follow. I don't count anything, and I feel like I have a really good relationship with food now after years of, you know, trying different things. So I'm really happy with where I am at in my relationship with food. I just know personally I'll start to feel better if I get more vegetables in my diet, if I take out a little bit of that sugar, the processed sugar. So that's just something for me to be mindful of. I have been feeling kind of sluggish the past 3 months, and I do think it's because I just haven't been getting as many vitamins in my foods as I would like to. Also, days without sunshine. This was a mild winter, but we still had a week or 2 where we like didn't see the sun, and that just definitely made me feel tired and sluggish, but we're coming out of that, okay? Like, the sun sets later, we're doing better. Saying yes to opportunities that I maybe didn't feel 100% aligned with. This is something that's more like internally, not that it made me feel tired, like, oh, I need to go take a nap, but you know, just maybe hindered by creativity, or I just knew it wasn't right for me, and I maybe was contemplating saying yes to the opportunity, and it was making me feel kind of tired and sluggish, and then I ended up saying no to the opportunity, and it made me feel better. And just like checking in with myself and my emotions when I'm making those big decisions. Also, working beyond my boundaries. I feel like I did actually have a really good system and structure to my workday this year so far, way better than I did the previous 6 months, and it was working great. And then there were some weeks when I worked on weekends, or I worked past 5 p.m. and that's when I kind of felt the tiredness, the burnout. I talked about it in a recent vlog, like not having an abundance mindset and that imposter syndrome that I had just talked about. Okay, so now for something fun. What made me feel the most energized? I said coffee, LOL, no, but being serious, being in a state of flow when working or filming. And you know, when I started on a new project, or I updated my website, and I had a lot of fun like updating it and reading about how to make the copy better, make the marketing better, working on brainstorming for this new launch. Like when I'm in a state of flow at work, it is just so fun. It makes me feel so energized, and it reminds me I love doing what I do. Starting to dance again. I'll talk about this more in my goals, but that was a super great thing. Going back to cycling classes, that was an unexpected thing that happened this quarter. My friend just invited me to one, and I realized I love cycling, and it's like great cardio, and so I love that. Taking weekends off and planning for the future. I'm someone, like I said, who likes to look forward, be excited about the future, and so that will bring us into our planning section. I also like to write out a word. You know, we all write out words for the year. To sum up Q1 in one word, I would actually say it was very balanced. Like I said, having my intern, having my office gave me a lot of structure to my schedule that I was craving, and being able to enjoy the weekends and be super social with friends and Jimmy and my family. That I feel like I had a really good work-life balance the past 3 months, besides, you know, that week or 2 where all went away. But my goal word for Q2 is experiences. Again, I'll talk about it when we get to my goals, kind of what my next 3 months is looking like, but I just want to enjoy the experiences that are coming my way, and that's the word I wrote. We'll see what happens. Okay, now let's get into going over the goals that I set for Q1, how I did, and what we're doing for Q2. I'm sorry the sun keeps going in and out. It's a cloudy day. But now I'm gonna open up my Dream Achieve workbook. I have it in the color Aurora. I also have the post-grad version. And what I put at the beginning of this workbook is a place for you to create a vision board, kind of journal a little bit about your dream life. So I think it's also important to kind of look back on your vision board for the year. I made this one. I also have one on Pinterest. As you can see, time at the beach, an office, more orders, dance classes, maybe a designer purse, doing what I love, reading 40 out of 40 books. And then I flip on over to what I started doing in January. I did a goal brain dump of just kind of my resolutions for the whole year. So let's see if we checked off any of these yet. Learn conversational Spanish. I did start Spanish classes, but I'm not a conversational yet, so not that one yet. Get back into dance/musical theater. I'm gonna continue working on this, but I did get back into dance classes. My friend Amanda started teaching some at her apartment, and I go once a week, and it's been super fun. So although it's not like professional dance classes, I'm getting back into dance, and it's been super great. Launch a daily planner, not yet. Get an office space/warehouse. When I talked about getting my office space, I did not think it was going to happen in January. I literally thought it was going to happen towards the end of the year, but things just kind of aligned. Travel to Europe. This is happening next week. The week actually you're watching this video, I'm traveling to Europe. So end of Q2, we will check that off. Sign 3 recurring brand deals. Save $10,000, pay off $10,000 in debt. We're not there yet. Host an in-person event. This also may be happening in Q2. I'm actually going to add it into my Q2 goals. So now let's go over ones that I set for Q1, January through March. So at the time I was doing a New Year content series where I was posting very regularly on socials. So we did that. So that's a check. Hire and train my intern, Caroline. Yes, we did that. She's almost done. It's gonna be so sad. Start dance classes. Yes, like I said, we did that. Start Spanish. I'm gonna put this because it wasn't an X because I did do it really well in January and then kind of fell off a little bit, but we can always bring it back. So like I said, at the beginning of the year, I knew that I wanted to travel to Europe this year. I put it on my vision board, and literally guys, I'm gonna talk about it in my pack with me, but it's a sponsored trip. It's everything that I wished for, and I'm so excited for it. So this is a big thing that's happening in April. Some other goals that I have for this quarter, continuing with the dance class aspect. If you watch my monthly resets, I've been wanting to get into ballet, and I have just stopped myself from going, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I want to start ballet specific classes at the company here in Nashville, like the ballet company. I want to host an event for our new launch coming soon. That'll kind of be May/June. I'm moving apartments as well. More information coming on that. So I'm going to say successful move and content wise as well. Just creating content around my move. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I also want to get to the beach, hopefully in June. Oh, you know what would be a good one is maybe, saving. I want to try to put $3,000 into my savings. So $1,000 every month. I feel like that would be a good goal to kind of help towards this big goal of paying off debt and putting money in my savings. All right. So now we are all set with our Q2 big goals that then I break down into monthly goals and then go into weekly goals every week. So that's kind of how I do that. So just for a refresher on how I go from this is January, for example, I take my big quarter goals and I'm like, okay, now in April, what am I going to do? Or for example, in January, I was like, okay, start Spanish, work out 4 times a week, intern, New Year's series. And then I go down into the spread from January. I go into the weekly spread and I say, okay, now what's my goal for the week? Onboard intern. And so you can see how that kind of correlates then to from mini weekly goals to main monthly goals to then my large quarterly goals and then also into my big resolutions. Before I go, I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I set goals. And if you're watching this, I'm sure you're a planner type 2. You love setting goals for yourself. But I had a great conversation this morning with my friend Georgie on her podcast, Chaos and Calm. And I don't know when exactly the podcast episode is gonna go out, but I wanted to kind of recap one thing we mentioned. And we kind of talked about why we loved goal setting. And I said, for me, the reason I think it's so important to set goals for yourself isn't necessarily just so you can check something off, so you can make more money, so you can feel better, so you can look better. Like, that's all great in goal setting, like being more successful from it. But really, the part of goal setting and like working towards goals and achieving them that is so valuable, that's especially so valuable for young women in high school or younger or college, is because it builds confidence. And what I mean by this is, when you start setting goals for yourself, you kind of want to start small and make them achievable. Because when you say you're going to do something and then you work towards it and you actually accomplish that thing, it builds so much confidence because you told yourself you're going to do something and you went and did it. And so you're building that inner trust with yourself. And when you start to compile that and do it over and over again, you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you do it. You tell yourself you're going to do something and you do it. You're achieving those goals and working towards something that you've set your mind to. Your subconscious and your mind is telling itself that when you want to do something, you can do it. And that, I think, is truly what confidence is believing in yourself and having that trust with yourself. And so the easiest way I tell young women, I tell myself to build confidence is to show up and do what you say you're going to do and prove yourself right. So I hope that I explained that clearly enough, but that's truly why I like reflecting and setting new goals, because it just feels so empowering when you do what you say you're going to do and you show up for yourself and for your future self. And that's my little TED Talk today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was just kind of straight to the point, reflection, goal setting, going over my goals, but I think it's great to do this at the start of every quarter and plan out what you want your life to look like in the next 3 months. Kind of, what are you expectant for? What are you excited for? What are you taking with you from the previous quarter? What are you getting rid of from the previous quarter? And it's just these little decisions, these little habits, these little things that we want to be aware of and monitor, and that's how you are going to start working towards the life that you envision for yourself, that you dream of. So thank you guys so much. If you want either of these products, the journal or the workbook, I will link them in the description box, and I'm also going to give you guys a code if you came from this video, so you can check that out. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.